live.
Oh, yeah.
It's doing it. It's doing the thing. I see the things, and it's doing it. So.
Rotating. Okay. Right. Hello, and welcome to You Right, the podcast where creativity meets community.
I am Matt.
And I am Rachel.
Each week on You Right, we challenge our listeners to write a story in just 30 minutes using 3 of 5 randomly generated words.
It's a fun and fast-paced exercise to spark your imagination and get those creative juices flowing.
We'll read your submissions, offer feedback, and discuss the unique twists and turns of each story.
Whether you're an aspiring author or just love a good tale, You Right is your place to explore the endless possibilities of storytelling.
So grab a saw and settle yourself in front of a nice, clean wall. And let's dive into this week's stories.
And remember, the only limit is your imagination and 30 minutes. Let's see what you got.
Let's see it.
Let's just go on and
Let's just
see
go
it.
on and see it.
Let's just get all up in it.
Yeah. You okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Just settling in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Matt, how are you?
It has been a day today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So, as mentioned, we have a kitchen remodel going on, and we have them coming out to, I think it's like float the ceiling. Like they're going to do a bunch of patches and stuff. So they're going to patch holes where old stuff was. And then they have to like put mud on it and float everything so it's nice and clean and even.
Okay.
And then they texture it and then they paint it. And that's all happening tomorrow.
Oh, what color is it going to be again?
White.
Oh.
It's a ceiling. Come on. It's going to be white.
All right, yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, that's all for the ceiling. But I had to get a bunch of lights wired and put in and everything. And it just turned into a fiasco. What I thought would take maybe 2 hours turned into 4.5.
Wow.
And it was a mess, a literal mess. I was literally sawing into the sheetrock. So
lights?
Yeah, for like a recessed can lights. Yeah.
Wow. And I would just like to state for the record that Matt is pretty versed in these types of things. So the fact it took him that long means it must have been hard.
Yeah. Basically, the lesson I learned is they don't wire houses like this anymore. This house was built in the 60s. Oh. And from what I can tell, they don't wire them like this for a damn good reason.
Okay.
It's a disaster up there.
Okay.
So I got it figured out, and it's all squared away. But my God, it was a mess. Just to give you an idea, like every fixture, every light in the house runs through a junction box in the kitchen on the ceiling.
Oh. So
like all power for all lights in the house go through that dumb fixture for some reason. So I officially separated it out from the fixture itself. So I just, as we keep remodeling, I'm just going to keep like, nope, you're not on there anymore. And nope, just change it out. But
damn, that sounds really, really stressful, and I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Well, it got done. There were some choice words said, but it's done now.
Good job. I'm impressed.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. What about you? What are you up to?
Who, me?
You.
Oh, well. For starters, I am actually hosting, which y'all are invited, by the way, but I just figured that you probably would say no. But y'all are invited. A drag party.
Why would we say no?
Because y'all don't normally leave the house.
But for a drag party, we'll defs be there.
Okay, sweet. Be there.
Hell yeah.
A drag party on Saturday.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I plan to dress like a man. I'm thinking either my boyfriend or my brother. My brother will be easier to pull off because I look more like him.
Right.
But
inherently, yes.
Right. But anyway, it's kind of funny because I don't know if I've mentioned this on the pod before, but I have a neighbor who
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She really, really hates me, and she thinks I'm gay. And she first started like love bombing me with like pride cupcakes and stuff. But then she decided that she hates gay people. And so now she started sending me like gay hate mail about all the orgies that I have and all my lovers.
Would we call that gate mail?
We would.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Then I blocked her, but me and my housemates are pretty regularly assaulted by her, and she actually came to my front door a few days ago. Yep,
oh, really?
Last week. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen her I hadn't spoken with her in over a year. She was pounding on the door, and she starts screaming at me about how my housemates were abusing my cats, which they weren't,
Right.
and saying that. And by the way, she has gotten mad at me and gone off on me for talking shit about her in the backyard when I was in Houston, which is very far from where I live.
Right. Yeah.
And so
okay.
yeah, and she's like very paranoid. But anyway, and just all this stuff and how she's not going to put up with it. She has a shotgun loaded and she's not afraid to use it. That's not the first time she's threatened me with that.
That sounds like maybe a worthy call to the popo.
I know, but she is a delicate situation.
It is, right?
Because I live next door to her. And so, anyway, but she has hunted down my derby team and gone online and been like, if we post about an event, she's like, by the way, they're all lesbians.
Cool.
Yeah. And
also, they're not, but cool.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But even if they were, like, who cares?
Yeah. Fine.
Anyway, and so we're about to literally have a drag party in my backyard, like really fucking loud.
Just loud, obnoxious, and in the, yeah.
Right. And so if I'm not here for the episode next week, you know why. I've been shot by her shotgun.
Okay. Well, it's recorded. It'll be on public record.
Yeah.
By Friday.
Right.
Or today, if you're listening.
Mm-hmm,
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Today, the 23rd.
Oh, is this live?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh. I was like,
it is currently Wednesday the 21st, and then
right.
Today, Friday.
Yes.
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 So if I'm not here, if I'm not Among Us anymore.
Have you played that game?
No.
Among Us?
No.
It's a fun one.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's what's going on with me. I'm excited. I'm excited about the party.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And y'all are totes invited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to come and drag.
Oh, but what's the point
No, you
of
totally
a drag
can.
party if you don't come and drag?
You totally can. It's just not a requirement. There's going to be a lot of people in drag, but you know.
Hell yeah.
Do it.
Hell yeah.
And there's going to be an award for the best dressed.
No fooling?
No fooling. No fooling.
I'll go as the bearded lady.
That would be cute.
Cute.
Oh, that's how cute.
Yeah, it'd have to be bearded lady of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Into it.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Well, hey, did you see all of our stories
that
this week?
I did.
Yeah?
That I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Who did we decide to read this week?
We decided that we are going to read, I am going to read Walker by Faith, Rachel's Guide to Suicide Success, Epilogue.
Take it away.
If you told this author, the gal who once pitched "Buy this book or die trying" as a killer marketing tagline, that I'd end up in a dusty gear tent in Ulaanbaatar, sobbing into a yak hide pillow, I would have snapped into my power pose and barked, "Hold my champagne!" And yet, there I was, halfway through an immersive mental health retreat at the Mongolian Wellness Collective, learning that sometimes the only way to slay your demons is to invite them in for green tea and a stern talking to. Turns out, cognition wings flap best when you're not drowning in your own sarcasm. Between daily gong baths, imagine a Tibetan monk's DJ set, and group therapy under open sunshine, where the only thing more brutal than your inner critic was the Mongolian wind, you realize that self-destruction lacks the pizzazz we romanticize. It's just messy. It's just sad. And no cap, it's definitely not the final elaborate act advertised in these short 9 chapters. As you can imagine, therapy was gloriously boring. I learned to say out loud the words I'd scribbled in margins. I am enough. I deserve help. Pass the samosa. Those are disturbingly good. I even had progress notes stolen by a curious camel, which frankly seemed like cosmic approval that my flaws are universal and decorative, not terminal. Somewhere along the way, I discovered, you got it, God. Turns out, people really seem to be onto something with this whole higher power thing. I learned that God had been with me, even at my lowest, and would still be with me at my highest. It gives me such a sense of calm, the assurance of being loved, and a peace that surpasses all human understanding. It cannot be explained, but must be experienced. Kind of like the cold, hot, wet feel of a camel's tongue on your nose at 5 a.m. But I digress. Yes, I still do that a lot. So yes, this little tome was cheekily titled A Guide to Success. And you might have expected tips on optimizing your demise or perfecting your grand exit. But here's the punchline. The only true success is stumbling, sometimes face first into therapy, medicine, genuine connection, faith above all, and maybe a dash of yak hide upholstery. Spoiler alert, the ending isn't an urn and glitter bomb edition. It's you, plodding but persistent, choosing another day of messy, imperfect life over the sterile perfection of oblivion. Or as certain friends of Bill have told me, trudging the road of happy destiny. Look, not everyone's meant to change the world. Some of us are just here to leave awkward voicemails and invent weird dances in our kitchens. And that's okay. Success is overrated. You know what's not overrated? Dramatically narrating your failures like you're the star of a moody indie film no one understands, but that somehow your thruppy loves and recommends to everyone who will listen. I'm looking at you, Matt. Remember, anyone can succeed, but to fail gloriously, that takes art. That takes panache. That takes a Rachel. See, I know my worth today. And apparently, it's $15.98 a copy. So next time someone asks you what you're doing with your life, look them straight in the eyes and say, I'm failing, loudly, and it's fabulous. Thank you for laughing at my twisted humor, and thank you for sticking around long enough to realize that the best joke of all is believing you don't deserve help. You do. Even if you're the sort who thinks self-care is a hashtag on a poorly lit bathroom selfie. I promise there's a world outside these pages. Far more absurd, far more beautiful, and far, far more worth living. May you be blessed and may you be well. And through it all, may you succeed. Rachel.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, I have so many thoughts about that. But what's your take on that? First of all?
Gives me all the feels. All the feels are there. Each feel. I got them all.
Great.
Yeah, man. This is exactly what it like. I didn't know that this is where it needed to go, but then it went here, and it makes perfect sense. Like it rounds everything off in such a characteristically appropriate way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It ties these threads off beautifully. Like there's real beauty in this. Such honesty and truth, and it's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like what a line to toe, man. Like keeping this level of humor and the satire in here, as well as just pushing the the healthy side of this story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this.
I love
wonderful.
it too. I do. I love that it ended on a positive note. I personally tend to be slightly on the fence between optimism and nihilism. So I love the optimistic aspect of it. I would tend to not wrap things up so neatly, but on the other hand, I would kind of want to, but then maybe not necessarily do it.
Right.
So,
yeah,
but
you are a walking dichotomy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I do like that. I do like ending on a happy note for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I like how, wow, did you know that I have a power pose?
Walker?
Yeah.
Like, how did you know?
Yeah.
Are there videos of you? Are you on TikTok?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Doing power poses on TikTok.
Well, I call it my power stance, and it's like a Freddie Mercury power stance.
Oh, I know that one. I know that stance.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yep. So, yeah, I totally have that, and I really like your mention of yaks. By the way, they're called sartig ucher in Mongolian, and that just means hairy cow.
Hairy.
It does.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. But I like the mention of yaks. I do love me some champagne. I would change green tea to milk tea, but you can't know everything. That's fine.
Yeah, especially because it's set in Mongolia.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, green tea feels wrong, but I don't know what the correct one would be.
Milk tea. That's where it's at in Mongolia. But how did you know about the Mongolian wind? The Mongolian wind is brutal to the point that people apparently commit suicide because of it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It made me want to die a few times.
Wow.
Yeah, so that kind of fits in really well with this.
Yeah, it really does. Makes me wonder if it's cursory Google search or a Wikipedia search of Mongolia can turn up facts about it, and it's like, turns out the wind is one of the most notable features of the Mongolian landscape, and it has resulted in
many a suicide.
many suicides.
Yeah. So I do love that. Samosas, I mean, I fucking love samosas. They're not a Mongolian thing, but I adore samosas. Oh my God. What about you?
What is the I don't know that I've actually had a samosa.
Oh, I've
had many mimosa, but what is a samosa?
It's very different.
Okay.
Okay, so a mimosa is orange juice and champagne.
Correct.
A samosa is like a deep fried vegetable fritter.
No, I have not had a samosa.
It's an Indian thing.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, I love Indian food.
Oh, yeah. But interestingly, it's also been adopted by a lot of Arab people. I think because they have a lot of like Indian housekeepers and things. Mm-hmm. And it's now a kind of traditional thing that that Muslim people eat during Ramadan for the breaking the fast meal.
Right. Yeah.
Samosa.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's just a deep fried, it's like triangle shaped usually. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of it. What is it like? A deep fried meat pie? But it could have meat or vegetable. Like it can have different ingredients.
Is it like a savory baklava?
No, because it's not got the flaky. No, it's not the flaky. It's just like okay, it's like empanada? A savory. It's like an empanada. Exactly. Exactly. Empanadas are often savory, but yeah.
Right.
It's it's like an empanada. Or I mean, the thing I grew up with was like the deep fried fruit pies. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those, but savory.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking delicious.
Oh, I'd eat the shit out of that.
And often it's served with like mint chutney.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God.
We need to stop talking about food. As Rachel weeps and
That's so good.
I'm so hungry now.
I'm so hungry. But yes, samosas are disturbingly good. I totally agree with that.
I love the camel.
Yeah.
I adore this camel. I even had progress notes stolen by a curious camel, which frankly seemed like a cosmic approval that my flaws are universal.
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
And I love that the camel recurs,
I
too.
know.
And at 5 a.m., a camel licking your face.
Oh.
I love that camel.
Me too. One of the first camels I ever met was in Mongolia, in the Gobi.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're different, because then I also met camels in Saudi.
Right.
And
yeah,
the
very
camels
different.
in Saudi are so big that they look like dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah, they're tall.
They are
like 6 foot to their back.
Oh, they're taller than 6 foot. No, they're like 10 feet tall.
Really?
Oh, I'm serious. The first time I saw
their back is to the ceiling?
Almost. Like the first time I saw one, I was just like, oh my God, is that a dinosaur?
Are we gonna die?
Are we about to die?
Is that an alien?
Yeah, no, they are massive. Like I didn't know that there were animals that big besides elephants and giraffes.
Camels.
Apparently camels.
Yeah. Dromedaries.
Is that it? Yeah. I believe you. I don't know. It's the one with the one hump.
Well, I think dromedary is a The dromedary's distinctive feature include its long curved neck. Yeah, it's
one hump.
There's camel.
Is it one hump camel?
Camels belong to one of two species, dromedary or Bactrian.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, it is the one humped.
It's the dromedaries are huge, but the ones that I met in Mongolia were Bactrian.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They're smaller, kind of like Mongolian horses.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, they're more compact. They're not like petite, they're just compact, like sprinters kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Like Mustangs?
No.
Okay. Go on.
They're just short. They have shorter legs, but they're some of the fastest horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I felt its humps and they were squishy.
Because they're full of water.
I know.
Yeah.
It was so cute. I was like
Such compelling audio.
Yeah. It was very cute.
No.
Mm-hmm. I also do agree that one of the paragraphs that you highlighted, which is like, but here's the punchline. The only true success is stumbling, sometimes face first, into therapy, medicine, genuine connection, faith above all, and maybe a dash of yak hide upholstery. Yeah, I really like that.
I love that. I love that paragraph for, I guess, it's walking a fine line, like we mentioned. It's walking this line between this comedy and this serious, this approaching this topic seriously.
Yeah,
and it walks it perfectly.
I feel like Walker has some experience with that type of thing.
Yeah, it's a great blend.
Pastoring,
yeah, it's an excellent blend of walking both sides of that conversation, I guess, especially with all the comedy that has preceded it, to continue to carry it through into something, into the punchline. Like, I think you handled that very well. That's some excellent writing, Walker.
Totally. And I love the part where it's like, you know what's not over it, dramatically narrating your failures like you're the star of a moody indie film no one understands and that's everything. But that's so true, because I've literally said that before when people are like, your life is so exciting, you have so many good stories. I'm like, no, it's no more exciting than your life. I just dramatize it or like narrate it as though it's this epic adventure, even if it's a very commonplace day-to-day scenario. You know? Yeah,
borderline mundane.
Yeah, totally.
You can dramatize the mundane for
absolutely.
days.
And it's like, oh my God. So I went to the store and this lady was like, can I help you? And I was like, what the fuck?
You can.
Like,
you can get away.
yeah, you can help me. And it's like things like that I would dramatize would happen to somebody else and they would just brush it off and be like, nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Nothing.
So yeah, I totally relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would certainly fall on the other side. Like I'm like day-to-day interactions, it's just, hey.
Yeah.
Cool. You good? Yeah. All right.
Right.
Cool. See you later.
Right.
Those your skis? Yeah. Both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
See ya.
Yeah.
That's me. Like, I'm Dumb and Dumber, man. Like,
whereas I'm just like scanning the situation, searching for a gem that I can like harness.
Yeah.
You know, like, and, oh my God, like I saw my boss today and she was like, hey, what's up? And I just saw this glimmer in her eye and I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, and you know,
we gotta get
like,
video. Your face is so disturbing. It's just like, and just this, like, and then she said, like, but you're okay. So you are, it's like you are a clam looking for a piece of sand to latch onto to create a pearl.
Oh, turtly. No, turtly. Turtly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like any piece of sand, it's like, oh, nope. Pearl.
Yeah.
Make a pearl out of that.
And one of my classic lines is, once I get to what I consider the climax and everybody's just like, that wasn't exciting at all, I'm like, the end. I'm sorry.
Deal with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry that wasn't like the
catharsis you needed.
Right, but that's where I ended us. So, no.
So there you go.
There you go. Do with it what you will.
Also, I just want to call out a glitter bomb urn. Like that's just hilarious.
That's some good shit.
That's funny. But I mean, it was that's not anyway. Yeah.
An urn and glitter bomb edition. I really like the line that follows it, which is like, it's you, plodding but persistent, choosing another day of messy, imperfect life over the sterile perfection of oblivion. I love that. And that reminds me of the realization that I mentioned a few weeks ago about, well, I realized that we're here for the long haul, so might as well make the most of it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, somehow just accepting the fact that this is where we're at, this is what's happening. It's not really a choice unless you choose to off yourself. But for the most part, it's not really a choice. You might as well just do your best with it. You know?
Yeah.
It's somehow very freeing and very like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a liberating, it's a hopeful and liberating thought. Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
And and some days, like, I feel like the struggle is sometimes you don't know what the most is, like making the most of this day is. Sometimes that's not as obvious as other days.
Right.
And so I think just knowing what you can do to make the most of a day, like that's my battle.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the most of this day?
Right.
And some days it's obvious. Like today it was obvious. Like I must get these light fixtures put in. I must rewire this kitchen.
Right.
And it's obvious. Like what the most of this day is just these very simple things. But other days it's not so clear cut. It's not so straightforward.
Yeah.
So just trying to see what the most of this day could be is different from day to day. And it's an ongoing process. It's never done. It's a constant journey.
Yeah.
And so always looking at the day and thinking like, what is the most of this day? And what does that look like?
Right.
And some days it'll surprise you.
Yeah.
It will genuinely surprise you. Like what, because sometimes the day has other things in mind for you than what you thought the most of this day could be.
Oh, exactly.
So that's me waxing philosophically on that idea, but I love that idea.
I do too.
It's a beautiful sentiment, and I love that.
As do I. So who was it in the comments that said that I'm worth? Because Walker said I'm worth $15.98 a copy. Somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, come on, Rachel's worth at least half that. I mean, twice that.
It's like at least half that.
Whatever. Rachel's worth at least twice that, which would be
that was Richie.
Yeah. Thank you, Richie. That's really sweet. He's like, or is she? Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The dollar being what it is and all. Oh
right.
Man, I love this leaning into your style. Like, is it? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I like that. I like to think of myself as worth at least a 20. At least which president's on the 20? Franklin?
Jackson.
I like to think of my surf as worth at least a Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your toad's a Jackson, bro.
Thanks, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But what are your kind of closing thoughts on this?
Closing thoughts, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious, very entertaining. I love the impropriety of it all. I love the playing with taboos.
Yes.
And then wrapping it up to a positive, conclusion. I think it was masterfully done.
Preach, girl.
Yeah.
Preach. Because yes, all the same notes. I will admit, getting started into this, I thought that this, I'll be honest, Walker, I thought that was a bad idea. Like to take light of something very serious. But man, you did it right. You did it justice, and you didn't shy away from it. Like that's what I keep coming back to. Is you keep coming back to this. You keep returning to this topic, and you're not afraid of it. You're not afraid to talk about it. Yeah. And you ultimately did bring it around to a very healthy place, a great ending to this. And I just got to give you mad props, dude. That's some excellent work, and way to stick with it and way to follow through on an idea like that. Very well done. Yes, I agree. But on, another hand, I loved it when you first started it. And I thought, I love that he is like diving into this taboo. Yeah.
And even if you hadn't brought it around to like a positive conclusion, I still love the shattering of, what's another word besides taboo? I keep saying that word.
I'm not sure.
There's words, but I love just the idea of talking about things we're not supposed to talk about.
Ooh, anathema.
Okay. I love the shattering of anathemas.
I was just looking at this and I was like, ooh, anathema. That's a fun one.
Yeah, that's like that one book that I just finished reading. But yeah, I love that. Talking about things we're not supposed to talk about openly and even jokingly.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it took me after the first entry, I think it was by the second entry, I was like, okay, I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of fun.
It's fantastic.
I was just kind of worried. I think that's what it was. I was worried where this was going.
Yeah.
Because it is a serious topic and people struggle with that.
Yeah. But I think that bringing things like that out into the light
is much
helps.
More helpful than just leaving it as a taboo. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because when you leave it as a taboo and you leave it in the dark, then it still is a scary monster, you know, and if someone is struggling with that, they're afraid to talk about it because people are going to be like, no, oh my God, no, don't talk about that. So it's like, if you can bring it out into the light, I think the more that we can do that, the better and the healthier society will be. Yeah.
And I feel like I've grown because of this story, because of where I began with this, like my worry about what to expect from this, especially whenever it started to become a series. Like I was kind of worried, but you did it right. You did it justice. I'm not sure what else to say about it. It works. It works exactly the way it's supposed to. And Walker, thank you very much for bringing this to us.
Thank you, Walker, for being a bad bitch.
Bad bitch. Yeah.
Bad bitch.
All right. And up next, we have The End of a District by Steve Livingroom. So, Steve, I felt this. This has you got emotions here, and I'm glad to see them coming out here. Yeah. This frankly just felt like so here in Texas, we have some laws being passed about schools, public schools, and also private schools, and where the taxpayer money for Texas residents are going. And part of it is now officially to subsidize private school tuition for people who choose to go there. So that's a huge topic on my mind. We don't have kids, but it's important to me. I think education is one of the most fundamental and important things for a society. And the way Steve is talking about the way this superintendent is dealing with education in this district, like he's some CEO of this school, which he probably wishes was a private school that collected more money. I was livid by the end of this story.
I hate this guy.
I know his type, and dear God, I cannot stand people like that.
I cannot either.
I know exactly his type.
Oh yeah. Oh, let me just tell you. This pissed me off. Like, I want to punch this guy in the face. As an educator myself. Although, thank God, I don't teach in the public education system. Right. Because that whole thing about, who was it that afterwards mentioned that it was like teaching to the test or something, like takes away or was it Steve that said that? Takes away the skill or the mastery.
Oh, that was Jake. They were told to teach to a test and toe the line. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank God I don't have to, I literally teach what I want to in my class because I'm not teaching at a public school. But that is disgusting. I can't stand it. It's taking away all of the trust from the teachers. It's making it be why does it even matter if I have any skills or knowledge? Because
you're a babysitter at that point.
Right.
Yeah, you're a babysitter with a checklist of things that you've got to get done today with these kids.
It's disgusting.
It's horrifying. It's reprehensible. I cannot stand
this man, and I have never met him, but I want to beat the shit out of him.
So all this to bring it around, Steve, this is some wonderful writing.
Really good.
You really tapped into something here.
It was very evocative.
Very, very evocative. And I want to call out this line, or this paragraph specifically. It's like he's paying for a new paint job on a car that desperately needs a new transmission, wheels, and brakes. He wants our district to look pretty, like his Gucci suit, but doesn't care about what's inside, just like his dead, lying heart.
Yeah.
Well done, dude. That's
Right.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a metaphor to... I guess it's technically a simile, but what a comparison to draw between the paint job on a car that needs brakes and
you know what that reminds me of, Steve, which you might have had this in mind when you wrote that. It reminds me of what Jesus said about the Pharisees. No offense, Pharisees, being like whitewashed tombs who were painted white to look all beautiful on the outside, but on the inside it's like rotting bodies.
yeah. I'm not familiar to say, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was some exceptionally well done writing, Steve. That really captured me in that moment to the point that I was like, I have to mention this.
Oh yeah.
That's well done, man.
That's some good shit. That is some good shit. And wow, sounds like a total shit show over there, and good for you for escaping.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently it wasn't by choice, but maybe blessing in disguise.
Right. Yeah. A Janice ending.
A Janice ending. Fist bump.
Hey, fist bump.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Actually, yeah. Now that you've got other things lined out, congratulations on not being under that guy's thumb any longer.
And then you mentioned that he hired TOSAs, teachers on special assignment, who don't teach but tell others how to teach.
I got furious just reading that. I was like,
wow, that sounds really familiar. I've definitely experienced that before. And I'm just like, ooh, I have to work hard to hold my tongue. When people like that try to tell me what to do, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Like, go do what I do for a month, and then we can talk.
Yeah. Or you know what? You're here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Take over. You got it.
Go and do it.
I'll do your job.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fuck. The worst.
The worst.
Oh man. Yeah, so like Rachel mentioned, very evocative story. And it really hit some buttons for me. And I'm not even in education. Like this is kind of this is like a core value of mine is education. Mm-hmm. I feel like it needs, like, everybody deserves an education. And to see how educational establishments are being run and managed is horrifying. Ew. It's so scary. Like, it's legitimately scary. So to see this, it really called up something in me. Very well done, Steve. You're clearly out in the trenches, and we thank you desperately for it.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
I like your use of no cap.
Yes.
I'm not going to dance for you, Sunshine. No cap. Like, oh, you tick me off. You piece of shit.
They're all right there.
Right there. Sunshine, no cap, tick.
I wonder if that was the line that inspired everything. I'm not going to dance for you, Sunshine. No cap. You tick me off, you piece of shit. That's wonderful, Steve. Well done.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, considering what the words we had to work with, it's sort of like poetry.
It is poetry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done.
Good job.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And up next, we have Anxious Encapsulation by Jake.
And all that jazz.
So this is, I actually think I want to read the whatever you would call that, Jake's kind of introductory paragraph to this. So this is an idea for a scene that Jake had, the welding of Ava Smith.
Oh, yes.
It's in the same story as last week's submission, but is not a direct continuation.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in the story, Ava has realized something is going on, and that it is an entity that calls itself the Welder.
Yeah.
At the time this scene occurs, she will have had very brief hallucinations of him. and had gotten her arm treated by her friend and boss Zed. As we join her, she is in the dentist's office because of her severe tooth pain, and that's where we pick up. But that's kind of an excellent lead into the story itself.
Thank you for giving that background.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of frustrating when you find yourself in the middle of a story, media res, and you're just like...
Without context.
With no context, and you're like, where the fuck am I? Yeah. So that was helpful. Thank you.
Looking at every prologue written by Brandon Sanderson, good God. It's like you're just completely unmoored. There's nothing to guide you. But so that was very helpful. And what did you make of this?
I really liked it. I thought it was very well done. I was able to get like a feel for where we were at because of that context that we were given at the beginning. And then it started to make sense why her teeth have been hurting so much. But I'm wondering, like, how did she not see that? You know?
Well, yeah, and I feel like we're missing some context there.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if my teeth were like in that much pain, just keep thinking about it. Then I would definitely be like shining a flashlight onto my teeth and gums in a mirror and trying to figure out what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how did you not see that? But it was very interesting.
Very interesting. So I really dig this. Really leaning into the body horror.
Yeah.
After last week, whenever she woke up to a botched tattoo, and then now she's got chiseling marks or scribed marks on her teeth with like, and I just have to imagine it's like we have "You Are Mine, Ava" written on her teeth.
Right.
Like, is that a character per tooth? Because oh my god.
Yeah, I think he said each word was on a different tooth.
Each one was on its own tooth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like that's a new level of body horror that I was not prepared for. But I think what the more disturbing part of this isn't necessarily that this is scribed, I guess, onto her teeth. It said she had no idea that it was there.
Oh yeah.
No idea how it got there.
Right.
Only that she just wakes up to this pain.
Yeah.
And so that really makes me intrigued about who the welder is.
I mean, I feel like the welder must be like some type of like supernatural entity because of what happened in the last story where she suddenly fell into a trance.
Yeah.
You know, and then ended up tattooing her own arm.
Yeah.
So I do definitely wonder about that.
I read a book, and oh my gosh, I can't remember the title or the author, so this is gonna be helpless. But it was basically about someone who would hypnotize, like they were a psychologist. They would hypnotize people, like, but they would subliminally like make it so that they could hypnotize them in their home, and then they would do horrible things. Horrible things. It was definitely a horror book, but that's kind of what this made me think of, was that story. And believe me, I can't remember its title. It's been years ago. Like, I may have been a teenager whenever I read it, but heyo, Matt from the future here. Turns out that book is False Memory by Dean Koontz. So now we all know that. Thank you. It was, that's kind of what it makes me think of. Like it gives this supernatural feel, like this is impossible, but maybe there is some very logical explanation for why she's having these things happen.
Maybe.
And what brings me around is the last thing she thought before she completely went under was, that bastard was in my mouth. Yeah. That sounds like a very human thing to say, or not necessarily to say, but it seems like it's speaking about someone specific.
Yeah. And that she knows who it is. Yeah. Because I don't think I would have said that if I like literally just had that happen to me. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be immediately thinking that fucking douche.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, who is she talking about?
Yeah, because I feel like Supernatural, you'd have a very different reaction than that bastard was in my mouth. Like, God,
yeah, damn you.
Damn it. But teeth are expensive. Like,
they are.
Like tooth money, man. Come on.
Tooth money for real.
God, it's...
I was actually just at the dentist.
Oh, yeah, I was maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I was there yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's still scary, right?
No, I love it.
I hate the dentist.
My dentist is so cool. Everybody in the office, but I had a new girl this time cleaning my teeth, and she tried to force me to get x-rays, and I was like, no. And she was like, it's a law in Texas.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a law that I have to pay extra for x-rays? She was like, yeah, Texas is weird. I was like, cool, I'm not gonna do it. So
it's
and I was like, you just clean my teeth, please.
I've gotten this explanation before, in that like they will be fined if they don't perform x-rays every year or something like that.
I was like, okay. But she was like, but you have to sign like a waiver if you don't want it. I was like, that's fine, I'll sign a waiver, but I'm not paying you an extra $100. It's not happening.
It's non-negotiable,
right?
bro.
Like, arrest me. If it's a law, they can fucking arrest me.
Oh man, then the police show up. That would be hilarious.
Right. I hear sirens.
It's like so.
They're
we
like,
have
ma'am, hands behind your back.
Yeah, they have like it's like at 10:44. Didn't pay for X-rays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever,
Or did not refused X-rays.
Yeah, refused dental X-rays. Yeah.
But I always like. If I have a new dental hygienist, I always forget about the tattoo on my lip, on the inside of my lip.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Apparently you did too.
I always forget about it. And they'll, like, pretty soon into the cleaning, they'll be like, oh. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, what? And they saw my tattoo. They're like, what the fuck?
What is this?
Yeah.
What is it again? I forgot.
Puta.
That's right. Yeah, it is.
Don't worry about why. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But Jake, I really like the feelings that you put down, the emotions of Ava being here at the dentist.
Yeah.
Because I can absolutely relate. I especially liked the... Ava had heard that dentists had a way of looking through you to find exactly what button to press to make you feel bad. Hell, all this dentist would have to do is look at her dental records, or lack thereof, and they would have a mountain of a speech to give. I totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the dentist, I leave and I feel like I'm a bad person.
like I'm a piece of shit.
Like I'm a bad tooth owner. Like
like you're being irresponsible.
Yeah. Every time I leave the dentist, it's like, well, fucked up again. Every
That's
single
hilarious.
time.
You thought you were winning at life till you went to the dentist.
But
and they're like, no.
You're still just failing.
You're failing.
Actually, loudly.
Yeah. One person who I don't think ever fails at the dentist that I know of.
Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah. She has stellar teeth.
She has fucking stellar teeth. Fuck her.
Yeah. What the fuck ever?
What the fuck? And she's not even some like crazy flosser.
No.
She just has excellent teeth.
Excellent teeth.
Genetically.
Yeah.
And but you know what's really fucked up is that they're so nice to her about it. Like, as though it's her doing.
Yeah.
It's almost like the experiment that they did like in the 50s where they treated blue-eyed kids better or worse. I don't remember. They either treated them like they were better or that they were like freaks. It's like something genetic, and they make you feel either rewarded or shamed for it when it's not even your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what their teeth, man.
Right.
Like, I brush them, and like I use a water pick.
I thought you were gonna say a water pistol. I was like, that's a weird choice.
just the old school plastic clamshell with a little orange pull trigger. That's how I floss. Hell yeah.
You're like, I have no idea why they're so upset about my dental care.
But yeah, so I totally relate to Ava's struggles at the dentist. Mm-hmm. So very well captured. Very well captured.
And how the dentist is like, oh, you too, huh? You fucker.
Yeah, you
Like,
idiot.
what have
like,
you done?
You kids,
and
idiots.
she's like,
yeah.
she has no idea what he's talking about. And she's just like, what?
That
what
was,
are you?
I really liked that part.
That was really well described.
Yeah,
I could
well
feel the
described.
frustration of just being like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even know.
Well, yeah, and because we're jumping in media res, I was thinking maybe that there's some context here that I'm missing, but no. No context. Ava's just as lost as I am. So I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
So what?
Right.
What? Yeah, very well done. I really liked that.
Like, oh, you're part of that weird gang too. Like, how many people? What is he even talking about?
Yeah, and the way you describe like her, the recollection that she has, the understanding, and after a brief second of adjustment came to the understanding that it was her X-ray, her mouth, her teeth. Then, as rapid as perceptively possible, multiple waves of reality hit her dead in the center of her mind, the center of her very soul. I thought that was very well described. I really like that, especially because the way it seems like she's tuning out from his explanation and like her memory is starting to kick in. I like that transition from him telling her to her realizing or remembering or something like that. I really liked that. It was very really worked on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how the dentist's name is Dr. Filton.
Dr. Filton, and was it Miss Sunshine was the receptionist or something? Ah, yeah. Ava stood, doing her best to avoid doing anything that might give her nerves away, and walked towards the open door. That'll be the third door on the right, said Ms. Sunshine.
Oh.
And it took Ava a considerable effort to give a half-hearted smile in return.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Miss Sunshine as a name, and Dr. Filton, especially the way you describe his hair as like, was it chic principal?
Yes, principal chic.
And coming like straight off of Steve's story, I immediately hated that guy.
No, same.
I was like, I can't stand this guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's recency bias. But really, yeah, he was he had a lot of presumptions about Ava. But granted, if somebody had something carved in their teeth, more than likely they would know about it.
Yeah.
Just not Ava.
No. Maybe she was too scared to look in the mirror.
I mean, you're right. Every time I have tooth pain, first thing I do is like just and just look in the mirror and it's like, is it broken? Is it still there?
I even make other people look. I'm like, get your cell phone flashlight and look at my fucking teeth. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Are they still there? Are they gone?
Right.
Are
What's
they full
happening?
of holes?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, yeah. What else you got for Jake?
Very well described. Loved it.
Agreed. Loved it.
Yep.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake. So up next, we've got A Barber's Final Cut by Richie Posier.
Yeah, we do have that.
Richie,
And
this was painful.
Quite painful. Like, painful to the point that I start to disassociate.
Right. We
this
talked about
text.
that before we started recording.
Yeah. I read this more like I watch a movie than I do than I inhabit the scene. That's how painful it is.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to be present for.
Yeah, it really is. So all you can do is observe.
Yeah.
And that's the role that I took in this. And wow, Richie, I was going to say, this is fucked up.
This is very fucked up.
Yeah, on so many levels. Like, there's layers of fucked up in this.
Yeah. You know, I have just so many thoughts about this, but one thing, just the first thing that comes to mind is I like how Thomas is described as being so unhinged and just like screaming and like running and like straddling Bobby and like slapping his stomach and like all the stuff he does is just, I really like the way it's described as being just so like out of control and just like
manic,
spastic,
yeah.
You know, just like, and that makes me think, okay, Thomas is clearly a father looking for retribution, but is he also crazy?
I mean, he's here.
Right.
He's doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
he's crazy.
And doing it with gusto.
With I can't say he's enjoying this, but I also can't refute that. Like I have no evidence one way or the other of whether or not this is something that Thomas is enjoying.
Yeah. He seems to be enjoying it quite a bit.
It probably feels in this moment like catharsis, like satisfaction, this retribution that he's taking out on Bobby. But if I know anything about this trope, or if it is a trope, like
it's like a Dexter trope.
It is. It absolutely is. But
only more with more at stake, because he's the father of a victim.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Like more he's got more in the game than Dexter did, you know?
Yeah. And again, because of the situation that Thomas is in, with obviously he's got Bobby strapped down, how he proceeds from here is very important. And the way that he experiences this is very important. Like, is he going to become Bobby just by taking on this task of wrenching this information out of Bobby? Is he going to therefore become the monster as well?
Yeah.
Like, is this going to become a problem for Thomas?
Right.
I mean, granted, it's already a problem for Thomas. It's a major problem for Thomas. So, like, I like this kind of the way that we can look at this from both sides and see each of these guys as a villain.
Right. Totally. You know, at first I was like, all right, obviously Bobby is a horrible person.
Monster. Genuine monster.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would actually never describe a person as a monster, but somebody who's done horrible things. And at first I'm just like, I don't feel like I could ever do this to somebody, no matter how bad of a thing they had done. But then when Bobby is like, yeah, she's half of her is here and half of her is there. And he's like, only I'm not going to tell you which lake, you fucking pussy. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I can see myself doing this to Bobby.
Yes.
When he refuses to humble himself, you know, and he's still going to act like he has control.
Yeah.
And call me a fucking pussy. Yeah. And then I was like,
the sad part, the genuinely sad part of this story is that Bobby does actually have control of this situation. He's the only person who knows.
Yeah.
And the line that scares me the most about this, from this story, is Bobby heaved and coughed, and for a minute before letting himself fall beyond the pain, he smirked. So he is capable of just putting himself beyond physical pain. So he can just weather it.
Right.
That's horrifying. That is so that's probably the scariest part of this story, is that there's no breaking him. Like he's not he is psychopathic even in like the physical nature of psychopath. Like he cannot be in physical pain to the point that he will spill this. Yeah. Which is how we end it, spill it.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody has a breaking point. And so for him, it might not be a physical pain. It might be isolation. It might be Chinese water torture. I don't know, but
keep going. keep going. Like that's fascinating to me. Like the different forms of how people can break. Yeah. And just like the fact that didn't break Bobby, like right. I would have been broken like 3 seconds into whatever this is.
Yeah, like, I mean, he might be like a masochist. He like enjoys it on some level.
I think I'm thinking of the same line. I was thinking there was another line in there that mentioned like he enjoyed the pain. I thought there was one.
Maybe. But so apparently I would honestly, this is going to sound really fucked up. I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. I have torture fantasies, and they do not include physical torture like this. They include somebody being like isolated to the point that it breaks them. And like, then, I mean, it sounds really fucked up, but I would just
as a form of retribution, or
yes.
is this okay? Gotcha.
Yes. Against people that I feel have done things that are so egregious, but yet are so arrogant. And I just want nothing more than to like break them down. And I would love to see this story continue and for Thomas to like try different forms of torture until he breaks Bobby.
Yeah, sounds like Bobby's a deserving candidate for the treatment that he's receiving.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, without delving into torture any further than we already have, I agree with you entirely. This is a story absolutely worth moving forward.
Yeah.
Because you've got us on the hook for we all want to see Bobby break.
Right.
I want to see that. And clearly Bobby's formidable.
Yeah.
But he must break.
Oh yeah, because everybody has a breaking point.
Yeah.
And so I would love to see this continue on until we find Bobby's breaking point.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like deep down, for me at least, it's just a desire for that person to recognize the error of their ways and repent.
Even if it's not repent, just give Thomas what he's looking for. Like, give him the information that he needs. Like, if that could be seen as a form of repentance, because it's essentially owning up to your crimes,
right,
or your sins, whichever.
Oh yeah, it is. It is a form of doing that. It's just like to be able to say, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird that is like my end goal, because that is kind of a good thing for them too.
Right.
To kind of like a unhardening of their heart, you know? But I'm not trying to do it for them, but or maybe I am. I don't know. Deep down, that's just what I really want. I really want them to just be like, I was wrong. I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
There's some very complicated emotions in this story, and I am a huge fan of you tackling this. That's you did not shy away from any of this.
No.
And for what it's worth, the gore, the violence of this, the sadism, the torture, the aspects of this that are controversial, I would say, that I am here for this. Like, especially like after coming off of Walker's story, like kind of poking, not kind of, but absolutely poking at the idea of suicide from the angle of comedy. I'm fascinated to see where you can take this, Richie. Like, this is some great writing. And I really want to see what you have in store for us.
Yeah. However, I will say that I am glad, because I saw that you mentioned that you kind of like took some things out or softened some things, Richie, which I do appreciate, because it was hard to read. Because you even said that you were like reading back, it was a hard read, and it is. And like, oh my God, the eyelash thing.
See, that one wasn't the worst for me.
For me, that was the worst.
It was the knee. The
knee ain't shit to me. It was the eyelash. Oh shit. I like kept replaying that like over and over, and I'm just like cupping my eyelashes. Please.
Not again.
No. So yeah. Yeah. I also like how he calls him a corpulent tick.
Yes. I love the use of corpulent.
That was very good.
Yeah,
and
love that.
That's also very appropriate, because it's like he's sucking the blood out of these families and getting fat.
That's an excellent description.
Thank you, Richie, for using the word corpulent.
Yes.
I love that.
In addition to tick.
Yes.
Like, that's a great description.
Right.
Especially in the context, like, well done.
Yeah.
A two-word description.
That's
corpulent tick. Love that.
It's a great,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Analogy. Yeah, I really like that.
So there's so many times, like, after we're recording and I'm editing, that I hear us talking, and then I'm like, oh, damn it, I wish I'd said this.
Yeah.
Like, every single episode, there's something that I always feel like I forgot to mention. And corpulent tick was about to be one of those, so thank you for not letting it fall into that category.
Yay.
Yeah.
You know what? What does that say about us? Because every time I listen to our episodes, I'm like, I nailed that so hard. Like,
proof that
I was spot on.
that we're a good balance, I guess.
Yeah. The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh man. What else do you have for Richie in regards to a barber's final cut?
The main thing I just want is a continuation. I want more torture, more different kinds of torture.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent job, Richie.
Good job.
Thank you.
That was great.
And that is all of our stories for this week.
That's it?
That is it.
Okay.
So thank you, Walker by Faith, aka Michael. Thank you for concluding Rachel's Guide to Suicide Success with this epilogue. Excellent entry.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, Steve, Jake, and Richie. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all being with us.
Y'all are amazing.
Y'all are amazing.
And all that jazz.
And that moves us into episode 39.
39?
39.
Woo!
Woo! So, for episode 39, we ask you guys to write a love interest.
Oh.
So yeah, whatever that may mean to you, it could be a love story, could be a meet cute, could be a will they, won't they. It could also
be.
There's a lot of complexity to love.
Murder. Could be platonic love.
There are so many different facets of love that you can this feels so open that you can go nuts with this.
I just got a really sick idea for this story.
Coming off of Richie's, I'm sure it is pretty sick.
Yeah. All right, shit.
But yeah, so a love interest or a love story. So and the words to accompany this prompt are clean, mosquito, 0, auditor, and intervention.
Okay.
She's in pain. So much pain.
All right, let's start with clean.
Please.
Clean. Yes, it can be an adjective, a verb, or even an adjectival noun.
Clean station.
The clean station.
Here we are.
The first thing that came to mind was so fresh and so clean, clean. So fresh and so clean, clean.
Ain't nobody got that. I'm just so fresh and so clean, clean. Yeah.
Yes.
Andre 3000.
That's right. Woo!
Hell yeah.
So clean. It, traditionally means not dirty.
Right.
Or to clean is to make something not dirty.
Right.
You know what? Something that's very interesting is like the difference between clean and wash.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'd like to state an example from one of my best friends who is Mongolian, who whenever he would come over to my house, he'd be like, "I'm gonna go wash my tooth."
Hell yeah. Just the one though.
Yeah. Gonna go wash my tooth. I'll just laugh my ass off.
I fucking love that.
Yeah. He would get really offended. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. That's hilarious.
It's adorable.
It's adorable.
It's
I just
the
think
one
of
tooth.
one huge tooth and him like with a towel just like shining it, Yeah.
Like polishing it like you polish a bowling ball.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna go wash my tooth. Anyway, so it's a funny word, clean, as opposed to wash. How we use them differently, but
you're right. That is strange.
Yeah,
because they're synonymous.
No, well, I also have the same problem in Spanish and in Mongolian.
I know one of them in Spanish.
Yeah, lavar.
Yeah, lavar
is to wash, and then limpiar is to clean. And often...
Oh, limpiar?
Yeah, limpiar.
Oh, limpiar. I thought you said Olympiar.
No.
I was like...
No.
Oh, God.
Limpiar. And so I will tell my boyfriend things like, I'm going to wash my room. Or I'm going to wash my house.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to
get out the water hose and you just start spraying it down and just wash it.
Exactly. And it's funny because it's so different.
So I guess wash is more...
With water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and clean is more like detailed.
Except, well, with tooth, like if wash tooth makes sense because it's with water.
It's more about it's like water is there, but it is not the primary element of washing your teeth.
I don't know. Because if you wash your car, it's with brushes.
Well, and mostly water. Like you wash your car, yeah.
So it's confusing. I mean,
I'll grant you that. It's not a rabbit hole I've ever dove into, but
no,
that's interesting.
I've driven way far into this.
Doven.
Doven.
Cliffs of Doven.
I've cliffs of Doven deep into this. Because I have the same problem in Mongolian because Siverlik is to clean and Orach is to wash. And so I'll say things like, I'm going to clean my tooth.
So it turns out he was actually just making fun of you the whole time.
Probably. But anyway, and then clean can also mean like, like in the Andre 2000 example. Right. Fuck. Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Yes. You said 2000.
I said 3000.
You said 2000.
Should I play it back?
Yeah. You should.
But we're recording.
Well, when we get done.
Okay.
Okay. And so so how would we describe that? So fresh and so clean. It's like
so fresh and so wash.
Yeah, but he means, how would we say what he means? So fresh and so clean. It's like so like on point, so clean, so like
why do I want to say on fleek?
I do too. I was about to say that. On fleek. So on fleek. So fresh and so immaculate.
No, that feels wrong.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to think of a way to describe it.
Yeah, I know.
On point.
I just want to say so fresh and so fresh. Like I feel like the best description there was fresh.
Yeah, but it really just, I feel like the only word to describe it is clean. It's clean. You just have to understand the meaning of it from context.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And our next word is mosquito.
Wait, I'd like to go back for a second.
Okay.
I don't know if it can be an adjectival noun because I feel like it would be cleaning. This is a cleaning station.
You're right. Yeah, cleaning crew.
Because if I say this is a clean station, I literally just mean as an adjective, the station is clean.
Yeah, a clean station.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it is not an adjectival noun.
It can't be a noun. It has to be either a verb or an adjective. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, go on. Mosquito?
Mosquito.
Oh, mosquito. So, mosquito, a mosquita, as they say in some regions in my brain.
I was like, in some regions, like as in rooms of your house.
Yes.
Mosquita.
In certain rooms of my house. You have to pronounce it mosquita. So this is an insect, a very obnoxious one, which I have very little problem. Okay, I wouldn't actually kill it. I would have no hesitation to flick it away.
I have slapped my fair share of mosquita.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They are literal bloodsuckers.
They are.
That can literally pass diseases.
It's true. They're horrific.
They're borderline a plague.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are one errant strain of a carrier disease away from being a plague. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I abhor mosquitoes.
Yeah, same.
They're horrible.
They're
etymologically,
horrific.
Isn't this a Spanish word? Mosquito?
I think so. Like it's mosque or mosco? Mosca? I don't know. I don't really know.
Etymology. Yeah, Latin musca, Portuguese mosca, Spanish mosca, and then mosquito. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it is derived from Latin. From musca for fly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I think that's kind of an interesting word in general.
It is. It is a really weird word.
Yeah.
interestingly.
And it has some weird usages because it's as we mentioned, a blood-sucking insect, so
Right.
it has kind of vampiric qualities.
Ooh.
So you can describe somebody as a mosquito, as like kind of a derogatory way to describe somebody as like a vampire.
I have never heard that.
Like I think like energy vampires, like somebody is a mosquito.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's
but it makes sense.
Yeah.
You fucking mosquito, fuck you.
Yeah. I know Stephen King used this, but it was actually for describing like types of vampires in his stories. But
interesting.
Yeah, mosquito.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't. I guess mosquito can be a noun or an adjective. A mosquito net.
Yeah.
But I just don't have a whole lot of thoughts or angles about mosquito.
I just think it's a very fascinating word.
It very much is. It has a very fascinating spelling, for sure.
And our next word, zero.
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 Zero to hero.
I love this word.
Okay, tell me why.
I love zero.
Tell me why.
More specifically, I love the concept of zero.
Okay, the mathematical concept?
Yes.
Tell us more.
Without it, mathematics as we know it does not function.
Right.
So just the idea of absence of anything.
Yeah.
Is fascinating.
It's like the color white.
Yes. Yeah.
Zero is white.
Just like to contemplate the idea of...
No, I mean black. No, white. Sorry.
It is black. Yeah, because white contains all colors.
Whereas black is no colors.
Is an absence of all colors.
Right,
yeah.
So black, yeah.
So black is zero.
Black, yeah.
So the concept of zero, to just contemplate the idea of zero. Like just consider nothing.
Right.
It's actually really difficult to imagine nothing.
It is. Can we imagine nothing?
So for us to have an idea, a mathematical idea of nothing is fascinating. Like just you go back to like Roman numerals, there is no zero. And so the complexity that evolves from counting up and up and up and up without the concept of nothing to hold the place of something.
Right.
It makes it so cumbersome to the point that we cannot go beyond a certain point without the idea of zero.
Wow. Interesting.
Because for every new order of magnitude, you need a new symbol. And the universe is infinite.
Yeah.
And it is also finite.
Right.
And so to achieve these levels of magnitude without zero is impossible.
Wow.
I love zero.
Okay.
Zero is fascinating and I love it.
That was beautiful. I feel like you should type that up. What you just said about zero.
Well, luckily it's going to be in a podcast, so.
True. Maybe I'll just, add it into my notes that I type up after every podcast.
Your transcription.
Yeah.
Your verbatim transcription.
Right.
Hell yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I wish that I understood zero better, honestly.
It's such a simple concept that we I don't want to say take for granted, but we know it. Like we understand it for what it is, and it's zero.
Yeah.
But to look back on how we arrived at zero, how we took this idea, implemented it. I think zero is beautiful. Zero is kind of a form of art in and of itself.
What you're saying right now about zero just led me to a conclusion, which is I've always wondered about how they decided what year was BCE or
CE.
And like who decided where zero is. Well, but I just now thought about it and I'm like, maybe that year of zero is necessary because if you start zero at the beginning of existence, you don't know where or when that is.
Right.
So you can't do that. So you just choose a point, put a zero, and then everything before it is a certain era, and we don't know how far back it goes. And then everything after it is another era. Yeah. And that kind of just like makes a little bit more sense to me in that context.
Yeah, zero in the scale, on the time scale, like the way that you're discussing like BCE, or sorry, BCE and CE, like that delineation, yeah, and it's debated. Like it's a debatable point in time that we set 0 at for the year scale.
And it is different in different cultures as well.
Yeah. And that same concept, not just in time, but in so many other aspects of science and mathematics, like that same idea of 0 exists all over the place. Like, what is 0 temperature? Like, I believe it is the Kelvin scale. 0 degrees Kelvin is like impossible.
What do you mean?
I don't want to speak.
I felt like it was based on Celsius. Like 0 degrees Celsius is freezing.
0 degrees Celsius is freezing. That's the point where water freezes. Right. But there is the temperature scale Kelvin is the absolute temperature scale.
Oh, I thought Celsius was. Okay.
So you have Fahrenheit, you have Celsius, you have Kelvin.
Yeah, okay.
0 degrees Kelvin is negative 273 degrees Celsius. And it's basically impossible to reach.
So why is Kelvin the main one? Why isn't it Celsius?
I say absolute because 0 degrees Kelvin is absolute 0 temperature. A 100% absence of heat is 0 degrees Kelvin, which is why it's basically impossible to reach.
How do they decide what is zero presence of temperature?
Because someone very smart, Kelvin, I wanted to say his first name was Calvin.
Calvin.
I'm sure that's wrong.
No, it's Calvin's. No, it's Kelvin's.
It's Kelvin's. So
Kelvin, yes.
Yeah, so as you approach 0 degrees Kelvin, very, very weird things start to happen. Like whenever you start to approach the speed of light, very, very strange things begin to happen. It is an absolute. It's a limit, and it is calculated in theory. And I don't know that we have actually reached 0 degrees Kelvin. Like anyone has ever actually recorded 0 degrees Kelvin, but we can get close.
Interesting.
So again, this idea of 0 is very fascinating.
That is fascinating. Very fascinating.
I love 0.
0's great.
0's fucking cool,
now
man.
That you put it that way, 0's fantastic. Wow. Go 0, go 0, go 0. Woo! Go 0.
And our next word is auditor. So lame. So lame.
I don't even want to talk about this word, honestly. The only thing that comes to mind when I think auditor is the suffix or.
Go on.
I don't know. I just like nouns that end with or instead of er.
Is that more specifically because it is a person who does it?
No.
Okay.
It's, as far as I know, it's random.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. So what is an audit?
I don't really even know, honestly. I feel like it's, in my mind, it's somebody who goes and checks and makes sure people aren't fucking up and then punishes them if they are.
That's basically it, yeah.
Yeah. Or you can audit a class, which means that you just sit there and observe it and don't pay tuition.
Yeah. Yeah. I immediately thought back to Steve's story and I got so mad about the TOSAs?
Ew.
Like they basically sit there and audit a class.
TOSAs.
They're an auditor of sorts. Yeah, I have to occasionally check audits for permissions and things in technology, like somebody logging in to do certain things. Like I have like audit reports to see if people were logging in places they're not supposed to be. So I am technically an auditor.
Wow.
Literally nothing has ever come from my efforts for auditing, and I am so thankful.
Good job.
Yeah. A common auditor is a tax auditor.
Yes, that's one I think of.
And I would say universally they're hated.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody enjoys a tax audit.
No. It's kind of like a parking cop.
Yeah.
Everybody hates them.
Yeah.
I don't even know
nothing against the person. It's just
I don't even know how they sleep at night.
So maybe it is a bit against the person.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for parking cops.
Yeah, it's the worst.
What they need to do is they need to just get AI or AI to do that.
So that we can just hate the machines
Right.
like we already hate them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because I feel like it's just not right putting that on a human.
You're right. That is not fair for any one person to have to go out and write parking tickets for people. That is just not fair.
No. I feel like it's bad for people's mental health.
Both on the sending and receiving side.
Right.
It cannot feel good.
No. So they need to really just delegate that to robots.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Drones.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. And then the more industrious person who doesn't want their ticket can
shoot the drone down.
You can shoot a drone.
Yeah.
That's not murder.
No.
That's just property damage.
Right. You might go to jail, but you didn't kill somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
Right.
Then they have to buy a new drone and then they could just get it shot. Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect cycle.
What I really want to do is stab a drone. To stab it down.
Okay.
As it's hovering over a car, just stab it. Just do a jump stab.
And what weapon are you wielding during the stabbing?
A dagger.
A dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Or a sigh.
A sigh.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a scythe?
No, a sigh. Like a tri-pronged weapon.
Trident?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it called a sigh?
I don't know.
Hold on, look it up. Weapon. Sigh. It's SAI. Look. Oh,
like Carmen Electra's thing.
Oh. Okay. I was thinking Raphael, but
also yes.
Sure.
What the hell am I thinking of? Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know that a Ninja Turtle had it.
Sounds like it wasn't Donatello.
No, it was Raphael.
It was Raphael?
No, I'm wrong. No, I'm right. I'm right. Yeah, see, look.
Yep. Yeah. So the preferred weapon of Raphael.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd like to stab down a drone.
With that.
Yep. I think it'd be great.
And lastly, our final word is intervention.
Well, this literally means a coming between.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Intervene.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can look back to Spanish. Venir, to come. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
To come between, to come into, to come among.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Intervention. So this is either a noun or a nominal adjective. Welcome to the intervention station. Intervention training.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And, just the other day, it's interesting how you can use this word differently because to me, I say this a lot. Whenever I am suddenly not able to do something and I'm like, I need an intervention.
Okay.
I need somebody to come and rescue me. But I said that to somebody the other day and I was like, I feel like it was my boss and a coworker and I was like, do y'all need an intervention? And my boss was like, no, we're fine. We're not fighting or anything. And I was like, oh no, I just mean, do y'all need help? Like somebody to come and rescue you.
Oh.
So I think it can mean either somebody or something to come and rescue you from something that you cannot do, or it can mean, if you're having a conflict.
Yeah.
An intervention is somebody who comes to intervene.
I feel like that's an intermediary.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody to come between two people, I would say, is an intermediary.
Right.
Whereas intervention is more of a moment to intervene.
Right.
Specifically. I don't feel like, yeah.
Yeah, whenever my boss said that, I was like, oh, have I been using this wrong the whole time? Intervention? But I do it, I say it a lot. I need an intervention. Help. SOS.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe my boss is wrong.
Possibly.
Probably.
So those words again are clean, mosquito, zero, auditor, and intervention.
Intervention.
And don't forget, we've got a love interest prompt.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Okay. If you want to be like these wonderful writers and submit your story to You Write, head on over to our subreddit at reddit.com/r/YouWritePod.
If you're unable to submit a story this week, that is totally fine. You can help out by reading and commenting on other writers' stories.
Each time you post a story or leave a comment on someone else's submission, you increase your chances of having your story read on the podcast.
You can also reach us at yourightpod@gmail.com.
If you like our show and want to help support us, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/YouWrite.
And if you can't donate that, I get it. That's fine. Just go ahead and share the podcast with anyone. Everyone, really.
Everyone.
But yeah, writers, non-writers.
Animals.
Snacks.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you know as soon as new episodes are available.
Also, please be sure to leave us a rating and a review in your podcatcher of choice.
We will be reading one review on each episode as well, so get creative.
And remember, join us next week on You Write,
a podcast where you write. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ear and I'll sing you. No, come back. A song I'll never. No, I'm not. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh,
I get high with a little help from my friends.
Oh, I'm gonna learn. Do you need anybody?
I need somebody to love.
Could it be anybody?
I want somebody to love. Yeah.